Hi, welcome back to part 2 of this week's Blues Talk, where we're going to look forward to the final week in the regular season of the Pro 12 in what I've decided to call Derby Week. So, John, it's Derby Week in the Pro 12.
I've decided to call it Derby Week, actually.
Well,
because I'm not American.
Well, that's good for you. If you want to be English, that's up to you. I'd rather be a Democrat. So, Leinster and Munster going for top spot for the signal honour, because it's not an actual honour. Of top spot. We're away to Ulster.
You call it a top spot?
We're away to Ulster, and Munster are at home to Connacht.
Yeah.
Now we play Ulster. It's hard to say how difficult it's going to be up there.
It could go any way.
It could go either way.
Derby, after all.
We have a great record against Ulster. Only the Italian teams have a worse record against us than Ulster. We have played them 32 times and we've won 24. That's 75%.
Wow.
That's pretty poor.
Mm-hmm.
For a team like Ulster that would consider itself to be a team that would have a genuine chance of being in the final stages in Europe every year and would have a genuine, realistic chance of winning the trophy. That's not great.
Yeah, well, they had a very brief period where they were. I know they won it in '99, but they had a very brief period where they could be considered. They didn't make it to another knockout game.
No.
For
10 years.
10 years at least. And they finally did, and they had a few years in the quarterfinals and one final against us. But you'd never really call them European heavy hitters.
No.
So our record
European wiffle ballers, perhaps.
It's funny the way these things go. Like, our record against Connacht is probably worse.
Yeah, it is.
Even though, because we seem to go to Connacht and lose. Connacht's record, however, in Ravenhill, they haven't won since 1963 in Ravenhill. That's a long time.
No.
Between drinks. So it's funny the way these rivalries go, isn't it? And Connacht couldn't beat Munster for toffee either until last year, when they beat them in Thomond. So whatever it is, they Connacht have beaten us once, I think, in this millennium.
Yeah, it was
in Dublin. So it's Derby game stuff. All this stuff still goes out the window. Anything could happen. We could turn out with in fact, I'd say the better the team sometimes we turn out, the more complacent they could be.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, that was my next question. I mean, in terms of selection from, Ulster probably played the strongest team because they've nothing else to do. There's not going to be too many of them heading off for the summer, and they have that game on the 1st of June against the Barbarians that they have to prepare for.
Oh yeah.
So I can see them picking a pretty strong team. It's hard to know what we're going to do. There's talk this week that Sean O'Brien's back, available for selection. They want to run some yardage on him. It's
Sexton isn't very high mileage this year. You could have, people have said that the Lions hold no sway over selection, and that's fine. But the player might. Yeah. The player might say, "Look, I'm going on the Lions tour. Will you give me a week off?" Or the opposite.
Give me a run.
Can you give me a run? Because Sean O'Brien might be the one looking for a run if he's well, and Sexton, I don't know. Who knows? But we do have 5 Lions. Robbie Henshaw has a very heavy workload over the season.
He might need it, and he's in a position that we're actually quite well sourced with the way Noel Reid is playing.
Yeah, and there is really nothing in it for us.
No,
apart from
this nominal honour,
top of the league thing, but it might get you the right Welsh team.
Yeah.
But again, you're not going to know that until after the game.
That's it. I mean, you could do everything in your power to finish first, and end up playing Ospreys.
Yeah.
So
I'd rather play Ospreys, to be honest.
I don't mind which of them, but I would point out that, and these things happen all the time, that we've never beaten the Ospreys in a knockout match, have we?
That's a good question.
I don't think we have. And I think even our greatest Leinster team, which I would regard as our greatest Leinster team, which was the 2012 team.
Brad Thorne and the boys.
Yeah, lost to Ospreys in the final.
In the final minute of the final.
Yeah, I do not like playing Ospreys in knockout rugby. I just don't.
Scarlets are in much better form. Ospreys are.
Now, people say that the current Ospreys team isn't a patch on that Ospreys team. Neither is ours. I mean, that Leinster team that lost to the Ospreys, that Johnny Sexton, Gordon Darcy, Brian O'Driscoll, in some considerable amount of their pomp, it had Jamie Heaslip, Kira, Carney, Ethan Asiwa, Brad Thorne, Leo Cullen. You know, the names just trip off the tongue. You know,
in there.
Yeah.
They actually say that Jamie Heaslip might.
Yeah, his name. When his name emerged. Yeah. Yeah. He's ready to spread his wings and.
I think he's been in one of those sarcophagi that they used to have on Stargate, the movie where they regenerate in it. I think he's been literally asleep in one of those for about 5 weeks, and he's ready to emerge.
When they start mentioning Jamie's name in dispatches, it's always interesting.
Yeah, and the other thing is, like, there's going to be injuries on the Lions tour.
Yeah.
Jamie Heaslip pops his head up over the parapet at the right time, has a few good games in finals and semi-finals of the Pro 12. Then you just never know.
I wouldn't be surprised if he played, certainly the final, maybe even the semi-final as well, if he was fortunate enough to be in a position to do so, of course. That he'd be on the plane with the rest of the squad.
I don't know, but we shall see. We should have a pretty decent squad to pick from because we don't have too many injuries.
And we do have a decent squad.
We're an amazingly good squad.
Yeah,
so
this is the first time, I think, since maybe 2011 or 2012 where we've had the depth. I don't want to call them the Pro 12 team, but we have a team that's played a lot of Pro 12 rugby and done really well in it while the if you like, the Galacticos are away.
I don't think even the 2012 team were able to put in 4 bonus point wins in the Six Nations like we did this year. So, but the point is, we've got so many players that we can pick and choose who we want based on who needs game time, what combinations we need, gaining momentum. Like, there's nothing in this. There's nothing in it for us to win, but there's also no harm in winning. Like, it keeps your momentum going.
But that's momentum is vital. I often say it. But okay, names on the line then. We'll assume that the Carneys, obviously, and Jamie Heaslip aren't available for selection. What's your team?
It's a fair assumption.
But everyone else is.
Everyone else is. I'd have a question mark over Henshaw and Sexton maybe, because they probably just want to keep them for the.
Yeah.
The other side of that is that they won't have played in quite a while. Leon will be the previous time they've.
Yeah, Sexton likes to play. He doesn't like to watch.
Yeah, so you just wouldn't know. They might, because it is only 3 games, but you got to remember, for those Lions, that's a long tour, a long punishing tour. So they might need every week of rest.
I also think that I've no doubt it's not intentional. But Johnny likes to give Paddy Jackson a little slap down every now and again, and just in competition with him, and just show him how it's done. Have you noticed? If you think back over the years that he has, I'm certain it's not conscious, but he comes out there and he seems to play particularly well against Ulster.
Yeah. Here's another interesting thing. Didn't Pienaar get an injury in the game?
He did.
So he might not be available.
And it would be sad if he wasn't.
Yeah, because it would be his last
game. Yeah.
He'll have to content himself with the Barbarians game.
Yeah.
He's off to Toulon for 2 years, I think.
He is, yeah.
So, our selection, there's a lot of tosses of coins there, but I don't think we'll have any we won't have any worries about who to select.
No.
Whether it's Ross Byrne or Johnny Sexton or Joey Carberry, whether it's Luke McGrath, Jameson Gibson Park, even Nick McCarthy. Who's coming up on the rails very fast, as you said. If it's any combination of back rowers, okay, Dominic Ryan's out, Jamie Heaslip is probably out, Jack Cohen, not sure whether.
Well, I think it was just a matter of rest.
He's okay.
Anything, yeah. You've Sean
O'Brien might be coming back in.
Vander Levy.
You've got Vander Levy, who, them and Sean could make up a back row from
Powder Timmins is knocking around there as well.
No shortage there. You've got 1,000,001 second rows that could be selected that are kind of much of a muchness. It seems to be Triggs and Downer are the preferred option, but there's plenty of other to choose from.
Yeah.
Prop wise, we've got Mike Ross there. We've still got Ty Furlong to come back.
Michael Bent.
We've no shortage of props.
I think Jack McGrath has to be punished.
We never even discussed that, did we? Did you show a clip of it now?
Actually, there's a clip shown right now, even as we're talking,
Okay.
of that happening. So it's just
it was unbelievable, wasn't it?
It was just a crazy thing, wasn't it?
Somebody put up a clip of a rugby league guy doing something similar, and it looked like he was doing a cross kick for the opposition.
But see, here's the thing.
It was so close. Adam Byrne hadn't taken that into touch.
Oh yeah, Lee Jones was coming up on like a train,
that guy was going to fall on that. And
but here's the thing. If that was Tyke Furlong, he would have made touch. Because he'd have played a bit of the old football of the Gaelic, which I don't think Jack McGrath has. Well, certainly hasn't, judging by that kick. Or if he has, he's played for somebody like Cavan. But I know it was.
I'd say he probably played for Louth or Longford.
It was a game. I mean, just to go back to that game briefly. I mean, for an end of season game with not a whole lot at stake, it was a great game of rugby.
Yeah, there was a lot going on.
And even when we leave the rugby stuff aside, the lights going out.
Drama.
Have you ever seen anything like that? I mean, we're looking at scenes now on people and the lights coming on. I mean, it looked lovely.
It was lovely.
It really did. It was
great fun.
It was great fun. It was an experience that I've never had before. I've never seen anything like that before. Jason, who was standing beside me, was over in Newport. The night the lights went out over there. So for him, it was of course old hat. But
yeah, well, it doesn't happen too often.
No.
It's interesting to see a lot of conspiracy theories there and pictures of Leo Cullen pulling out plugs and but it was very, very touch and go at the end there, a point in it and a few minutes to play. Who's to say?
I was glad actually that the ref didn't have to call it because it finished the equitable way. But sure, it's something we can tell our grandkids. Now, Battle of the West, to a certain extent. The song stealers against the people from Athenry.
The song stealers.
Munster against Connacht.
Connacht looked like, well, from what I've heard, I didn't see the game, they looked like they've nothing to play for.
No.
And they haven't. They're coming 8th, no matter what they do, pretty much. I can't see them do it. But then again, Munster are kind of running out of steam.
I'm not sure. Ronan O'Mahony's out for them. He's a big loss. He played really well for them this season.
Yeah.
He's going to be out for the remainder of the season with a fractured tibia, I think. Bad one anyway, or certainly a season finisher.
Yeah. So you never know.
There's a lot of talk that actually we were talking about Sean O'Brien.
Park.
There's a lot of talk that Conor Murray's
going to
get back because obviously he wants to obviously get himself up and running before the knockouts, and also obviously again the Lions.
Getty had a public word about his fitness, I think, at one stage. And
I wouldn't say that's massively. I'd say a player obviously he's probably looking at Reece Webb playing really, really well. I think, geez, I want to get myself back in the pitch because I don't want to be losing out.
Jeez, I don't think Reece Webb has been playing that well in the last few games.
Well, he's been playing a lot better than Conor Murray has.
Yeah.
Because Conor Murray hasn't been playing, so it's going to be interesting to see. But I don't think Connacht have nothing to play for.
Nothing. So it's hard to see.
Munster have a little bit of something like ourselves to play for, so
it's hard to see. And they're also at home. Nobody wants to lose in front of their home crowd. So I can see Munster getting a 4-pointer there for sure, and Connacht going home to nurse their wounds.
Now, the one game where there is really something visceral on the line is the match between Scarlets and Ospreys in Parky Scarlets. Scarlets are third on 72 points and Ospreys are fourth on 69.
Yeah, but that is a big game anyway. The Jacks and the Turks, as they call them,
even at the best of times,
are always looking to knock lumps out of each other anyway. And now the fact that there's something riding on it, there's it remains to be seen which team is going to come first or second and which one you want to avoid.
There is nominally what should be an easier match.
Yeah. So
Scarlets are playing like we were saying. I was saying earlier about not wanting to play Ospreys because of their record in the past. But Scarlets are playing really, really well now. It has to be said.
I think I'd rather play Ospreys than Scarlets at the moment. Scarlets, let's not forget, almost beat Saracens in Europe as well. Stupid little LV Cup game. Really. They only a late Chris Ashton try.
I remember that.
It was a draw in the end, so he scampered down the field under the sticks to get a 7-pointer, or they would have won 2013.
Yeah.
So that's a bloody good team. They also did Toulouse.
Yeah.
Or Toulon, sorry, not Toulouse. So
Playing in a slightly non-Scarlets traditional way.
Yeah, they're real tough. This, they're not.
Scarlets have always been a wide team, but this isn't.
No, and Leinster's Ty Byrne in there in the midst of it all.
Going well for himself. Yeah.
So, I don't know who I want to win that game. I don't really mind, but in terms of who we play, I'd rather play the Ospreys at the moment.
I think my DNA is keyed to not want to play the Ospreys.
Yeah.
But in terms of looking at it in the cold hard.
Oh, well, if you're talking about in the last 10 years,
yeah,
I want to play the Scarlets every time. But right this moment in form, Scarlets are the ones I wouldn't want to play.
Cardiff play Dragons in the Who Gives a Fuck
Victoria Park. In Caerphilly.
Yeah.
So
we kind of talked about that a little bit, and that was probably more than enough.
Yeah. It's who cares?
Yeah. And then obviously again, kind of with something at stake is the Italian derby.
Yeah. Whoever wins it's ahead of the Dragons.
Yeah. Whoever wins it is in Europe.
Oh, that's true as well.
You know, so that's actually a pretty big game. Certainly is for them. Just in terms of other news, there's a rumour in Midi Olympique, and a pretty strong rumour, that Gervin Dempsey is leaving Leinster to take over as backs coach at Union Bordeaux-Bègles.
Yeah, a bit of a shocker.
Erstwhile home of
Mr.
Madigan, and he'd be replacing Emile Ntamaka, who's apparently going back to Toulouse.
Yeah, I heard that.
It is a shocker because Gervin is Mr. Leinster.
He is. He's been here, man and boy, for quite a long time. Gervin Dempsey shares a birthday with my wife. He's considerably younger.
I think you find that your wife shares a birthday with Gervin Dempsey.
Well, no, she was born first.
I should point out.
He was born on her birthday.
I have to make a public apology at this point. I've been forced to make a public apology at this point. Last week I trumpeted myself for getting my wife's birthday right. I got it wrong. It's not on the 15th. It's on the 14th.
Oh!
So, anyway.
I'm sure everybody wants to know that.
That's the public apology there. That explains why I'm only been shot from this part up, because the rest of me is in the body cast. It'd be a massive shock if Gervin were to leave.
Yeah, it would. And it'd also say, has he been discommoded by the arrival of Stuart Lancaster, or been left with little to do?
As the extra chef?
In the same way as Neil Doak was by Les Kiss.
Possibly.
Hard to know. He's such a nice chap.
Yeah.
He just wants the best for the team, I'm sure. So
speaking as a supporter and indeed yourself, Gervin Dempsey was kind of one of the real kind of rallying cries when Leicester support first started getting motivated. He was one of the guys we really rallied around because he was there week in, week out, always giving his best.
Yeah.
So, Leinster without Gervin Dempsey would be a very strange place, and if he were to go to France, I'd just wish him all the success in the world.
Absolutely. And hurry back.
Yeah. And speaking of another former Leinster player, Ian McKinley.
Oh, yeah.
Has been called into the Italian preliminary squad for their summer tour.
That'll be interesting.
As he qualifies now in residency.
Yeah.
They've 3 out halves in the squad. They've Cana, Tommaso Allen, and him. Be interesting to see how that works out.
I'm sure they'll give him a cap.
I'd love to see him get an Italian cap. I really, really would. I think it would be just such a triumph for him. And
he was some player.
He was the guy. He was the next guy. He was the guy who was going to.
And then the guy who would have made it say Ian who?
Yeah. McKinley. But he was the next cab off the rank in terms of that. We know why. But in terms of a whole variety of different things, we talk about people who've suffered misfortune doing well in sport. To do what he's done is just so important.
Yeah, it's a pretty incredible story, and also the fact that he's risking his one good eye every time he goes on. Now he has goggles and all that, but it's pretty. If you've ever had a car accident or a bike accident or anything like that, you'll know how trepidatious you are for a good long time after it. So I can imagine what he'd be like on a rugby field. It must have been a mental hurdle. I remember what's his name, the winger, the Aussie winger, who's now in. Is he in Toulon?
Drew Mitchell, is it?
Drew Mitchell broke his leg horrifically in a game about 6 or 7 years ago, and he had to actually watch. He had to, what's the word? He had to try to untraumatize himself by watching his own injury several times as part of his recovery process, and it was amazing that he actually got back on the field after it. But it just shows you what a big mental effect you've got to get over.
Shows how brave Ian McKinley actually is, and
Exactly.
I tell you, there'd be a lot of Irish men wearing blue that day if he were to
Absolutely.
get an Italian cap. Anyway, so that's all from us this week.
We get Jason back to keep us in shape.
We get Jason back to keep us in shape next week. Hopefully I haven't ruined it too much, and we'll see you all next week. Thanks very much for watching. Cheers.